Hey guys, it's Maris. Welcome back to Harpies in the Trees, where I review horror books with a supernatural focus. In today's video, we are going to be talking about some new releases that are going to be coming out in November and December. There wasn't a lot. I think it's kind of too far in the future, probably for a lot of publication houses. So it was really hard to find something, but it did find a few things that sounded pretty cool. So I think going forward, I'll do these videos every 2 months as opposed to every month, and that'll give me time to find books that are being released and also give the books time to be released a little bit. I just really want to be a little bit ahead of the curve and just kind of finding out what's going on, what's coming out, what are we going to be seeing, you know, because it's just really interesting for me, and I think it's cool for you guys because once it kind of comes into your feeds and everything, you know, you've already heard about it, you have a little bit of knowledge about what it's about, so I think it's really cool. The next video will be episode 2 of Indie Authors Writing Horror. These are authors who submitted their independently published or self-published books to me, so we'll be doing another round of those coming up. If you're an independent horror author and you're self-published or independently published and you want to submit your book, the link is down in the description. And if you're a patron on Patreon, you will be able to vote on one of the books that we should talk about next in the next Indie Horror episode, and that will be happening on June 6th. And don't forget guys, if you're a patron, I do book chats every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm on there for a couple hours and we just talk about books and movies and spooky things and whatever. You could just drop by and say hello. It's really low-key and chill. And if you're not a patron, you can join on Patreon. The link will be down below in the description. First book is Pinata by Leopoldo Gut. This comes out on November 1st. It's from Macmillan. It's a possession horror story and it has an amazing cover. I mean, that artwork is awesome. So the tagline for this is that it's a mix of a head full of ghosts meets Mexican Gothic. So this is about Carmen Sanchez and her teenage daughters who travel with her to Mexico for Carmen's work. She's overseeing the renovation of an ancient cathedral into a boutique hotel, which sounds awesome. This project will take her all summer. So her daughters are gonna have a couple of months of just being able to kind of just do whatever they want to do unsupervised in a foreign city. But things start off pretty bad and continue to go bad as the locals are really not impressed with Carmen, and the contractors are also, they don't want to help her, they don't want to listen to her, and they openly sabotage her work. And this is sort of bizarre for Carmen because this is her home country, so it doesn't really make sense why they are so resistant to her. But when one of her daughters is almost injured on a construction site, Carmen reins it in and she's like, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm over these people. My daughter almost got hurt. We are getting out of here. Once they return back to New York, there's like this sense of relief, you know, that they're back home and, you know, things can return to normal, except they don't. Carmen's daughter, Luna, who was almost hurt at the construction site, begins to act very bizarrely, strangely, not like herself. So this sounds really exciting and fun. It kind of has that archaeological feel to it. It's a fantastic setting. And I like that Carmen comes to her senses and is like, you know what, this is not worth my mental health and my sanity. But it seems like it's their fate to run into this thing that they've run into. So it sounds very fun, very exciting. Now the next one comes from the publisher Valancourt Books, and if you remember, they also brought us The Lake of the Dead. It was the Norwegian story, was translated into English for the first time, and this is an Italian collection of short stories that have been translated into English for the first time as well. And this is A Different Darkness and Other Abominations by Luigi Musolino. This is a pre-order and it will be coming out sometime in November. The cover is really great on this. I love this artwork. I think it feels very, it has that feel of like Italian horror, you know? I know some of you are fans of Italian cinema like Mario Bava, Lucio Fulci, and Dario Argento. So this specifically is probably going to be really for you. So I don't really know who Luigi Mussolino is, but apparently he is one of Italy's leading horror writers. So there are a handful of stories in here, but I think the two that sounded the most interesting to me were this story called The Stag. It's where a journalist is covering a traditional festival in a small town, finds himself lost in the woods with a monstrous and terrible deity. And that sounds really cool, has this folk element to it. When I was living in the south of France, there was a parade, and I don't remember what day it was. It was a religious holiday, and there was a parade. And in the town that I lived in, it had a medieval center. So a lot of these parades would kind of take place in that area. So you have this like medieval setting, and then you have these priests or religious people who come out and they have their tall black hoods and all of their accoutrements and accessories and stuff. And it was so cool. It just looked like a black metal video. And the other story is In a Different Darkness. This is about a girl who disappears in a supermarket. Her parents can't find her. They are extremely upset and they are grieving, trying to find some solace when they hear her voice coming from a bottomless hole in their basement. That makes me think, is it the girl? It's probably not, right? It's probably not. And this next one is a short story collection as well. And I wanted to add it because the theme is very cool. There's writers here that you'll definitely recognize. And it's because it's about Baba Yaga. And you know, Baba Yaga, I think she's become much more popular because of The Witcher and stuff, but she's always been just a really neat, cool, interesting character. And these stories explore all of that. Some of the writers are Gwendolyn Kist. She wrote The Rust Maidens, which was a fantastic concept. I love the concept for that book. Stephanie Vitovich, Mercedes Yardley, Monique Sneeman, Donna Lynch, Lisa Quigley, and R.J. Joseph. And this also has an introduction by Christina Henry. I actually have one of her books. I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's about the Headless Horseman. I think it's called The Horseman, maybe. I love the synopsis. I just want to read it to you. Deep in the dark forest, in a cottage that spins on birds' legs behind a fence topped with human skulls, lives the Baba Yaga. A guardian of water life, she lives with her sisters and takes to the skies in a giant mortar and pestle, creating tempests as she goes. Those who come across the Baba Yaga may find help or hindrance or horror. She is wild, she is woman, she is witch, and these are her tales. And the cover is really cool. I love that they're using the hut. It's really, really cool. And this also comes out in November sometime. And this is from Vesuvian Media. I actually found this on ruemorgue.com. Kind of random. And the last one is A History of Fear by Luc Dumas. This is published by Atra Books and comes out on December 6th. Clay McLeod Chaplin, who you know is the author of The Remaking and Whisper Down the Lane, he has a quote here that says, "Readers beware, this novel is not safe and will have you questioning what's real for many sleepless nights to come." And to be honest, the synopsis for this book was a little like, I wasn't sure what to make of it, but it does sound like it could be potentially a really cool read. The tagline for this is that it's a foray into the darkness of the human psyche, marrying dread-inducing atmosphere and heart-palpitating storytelling. Wow. So this is about an American named Grayson Hale, which is so not an American name to me. I feel like that feels more like a fantasy British name or something, you know? So Grayson Hale was a grad student who confessed to the murder of his classmate, claiming that the devil made him do it. But soon after, Grayson was found hanging in his cell from an apparent unaliving. And while they were dealing with that, they found these documents in his cell, which were these handwritten notes that were just like utterly mad. And these notes were so unsettling that the authorities wondered, maybe the devil did make him do it. Meanwhile, though, there is a young writer who has been hired to ghostwrite this mysterious book for a dark stranger, which is all well and dandy, except eventually the contents of this book begin to trigger this writer's Satan phobia, which apparently is when you believe the devil is after you. Never heard that before, totally into it. This writer then begins to try to figure out who this author is and what this content is, what it means. But while he's doing so, he's coming to a realization that maybe the person, maybe the dark stranger is the devil. So based on the synopsis, it might be a little bit cheesy. It sounds a little cheesy to me, but maybe it's just a synopsis, so I'm not sure. But it won't be surprising to you that I love documents that are found and have some type of weird information in them. I think we all do. It's just really fun. So those are 4 books coming out in November and December. That concludes the 2022 year for me, I guess, in the sense of releases. But I will be doing follow-ups on the other books that came out previously to see how they're doing, see what people are saying about them, and you know, if they're worth your time, if they're worth your money to buy. If you like this video, please like and comment down below. Tell me what your thoughts are on these books. Please hit that subscribe button if you would like to get more videos from me. And other than that, please take care of yourselves, look out for each other, and I will talk to you next time.